I guess. You doing all right? Good morning. It's almost 5 after. Let's get this show on the road, okay? So, I'm Deacon Craig. I thank you for being here. Saturday morning, it's, kind of our time to kick back, hide, not do anything, or look at the refrigerator and see the honeydew the wife's got on it. So, but I do appreciate you being here. We'll try to keep this flowing and get done in kind of a quick hurry. What I'm going to talk about this morning is Narcan, naloxone. It is a opioid reversal drug. It's for those who are simply put overdosing, okay? It is one of the most fantastic drugs that I have seen out there. We have it in our first aid box. It is there for each one of us. You'll find it in a gray, tan zip bag with the Narcan there. The first thing we ask you, though, when you think you're going to be using the Narcan or someone may have experienced an overdose, at that point he or she may or may not be breathing. They may not be coherent, and yet they may be breathing and not coherent, and that's the first clue that there's something wrong. Secondly, kind of look at them, their lips, their fingernails, etc. They may be turning a little ashen or gray at that point. You look at it and then go for it. Narcan is an opioid reversal drug. It will not hurt or harm anyone if you're using it and they're not overdosed on an opioid. It just won't affect them in any fashion whatsoever, okay? So don't worry about the usage on it. You'll see it, we have it in the packets there. It's super easy to use. It's in a short packet here, tear it out. 1 dose per squeeze. It's a nose application. You pick it up, put it in the nose, squeeze it down. If they do not respond within about 1 minute to 3 minutes, grab the second one, do it again. Do it up to, I would suggest, and what we were told at the SO, is don't use it more than 5 times. At the end of 5 times, give it up, okay? You cannot overdose on it itself, but it's just not going to work. You may not be dealing with an opioid overdose. It may not even be a drug overdose. Could be something else. So at that point, you've tried it out, you've gone with it, it's in, it's done, okay? But when someone is going down and you think you have an overdose going on, the very first thing you do, because we're working in partners, is one partner's calling 911 right now, and you want to get a paramedics on the move, you're going to reach over and you're going to glove up first. You're not going to respond to that person laying there. You're going to put on gloves first. And that is, hang on. I got a call going in my ear. You want to get that taken care of immediately, get the gloves on. Opioids, the most common thing that we're running into right now is fentanyl. And I don't care what pill or what you see laying around, don't touch it without gloves. If it's a Tylenol pill and you look at it, oh, that's a Tylenol pill that's been dropped on the floor, put your gloves on, pick it up with your gloves, because it can be fentanyl laced. It's becoming very common now that they're lacing all kinds of stuff, marijuana, etc., with fentanyl. Fentanyl is skin soluble, and if it gets within you, it can affect you immediately, and you could be the next person going down. A year and a half ago, they had 4 deputies in Douglas County went down because they didn't glove up. And when you have an overdose going down, the first thing you want to do is get your gloves on, get 911 and then respond to the problem, okay? I know that sounds cold because you might say, well, he's laying there and he's gasping, he's this and that, but you've got to protect yourself first, because if you go down, you're not going to be any good for him. You want to get the paramedics coming in immediately, because once you use this, and if he comes back, he or she comes back, I can guarantee you they're going to come back in an anxiety way, and they're going to be in pain, because this is going to affect their nervous system. And they come back out, and they're going to be confused. They don't know what's going on. Okay, so you want to be having the paramedics come. The other thing is, it's not a cure-all. It just brings them back for a while. If they're in a situation where they can relapse immediately back in with their overdose, and you want to have the paramedics there to be taken over. If you administer and use this, save the used boxes, save the used containers, and when the paramedics get there, give those to them so that they know how many doses this person's taken, okay? They just need that information at the hospital, okay? They want that. So we're asking that if you do anything like this, I have seen this work. I can tell you it is an absolute miracle drug. We give you a quick one. We had a guy go down with a heroin overdose in his car. He was shooting up at the corner of Carson Street, 395, and College Parkway, and he went down in the car. When we got there, Fisher was the deputy. He pulled him out, started CPR on him. I looked over and I saw the tin and the aluminum foil in the car, grabbed the Narcan, gave it to the deputy. He gave it to him. The kid came back in about 3 to 4 minutes, and he came sitting up screaming, okay? Fisher asked him, he said, what is your drug of choice? He said, oh, I don't do drugs. He just kind of laughed, and he said, son, you're convicted, you know. But they took him on to the hospital. He was fine, I guess, from that point on. We never heard more. But so that's kind of what we do with the Narcan. A lot of people will ask, what is opioids? You know, you hear this all the time. What do you think is? What's the most common? Okay. Opioids, codeine, morphine, I'm not even good, hydrocodone, hydromorphine, tramadol, oxycodone, methadone, fentanyl, heroin, and opium. Those are your most common that you run into. Fentanyl is the biggest thing that's going down right now. It is dangerous. It's a dangerous drug, and you want to be really careful when you're dealing with it. And the reason I tell you to glove up, and I cannot stress that strong enough, is you get down to help the person that's OD'd, and you reach for that, and you don't have gloves on, and he's been using it. It could be on his face, could be on his clothes, and you touch that, and it can affect you depending on the concentration. The other thing is, if you have gloves on like this, don't start scratching yourself, you know, because that's going to contaminate and get rid of the idea of the gloves, okay? The other thing that a lot of people worry about, they've heard about, is if the lady is pregnant, this Narcan will cause that fetus to go into withdrawals, and there's a strong possibility they'll lose the baby, okay? You've got a choice. If she's going down with an overdose and she's pregnant and you don't do anything, she dies, the baby dies too. So you go ahead and you administer Narcan. As far as you are concerned with the Good Samaritan law, you are covered. There's no problem with you at all, as long as you maintain what you think is the proper and logical methods. Now, if you want to bring it back and you think, okay, this isn't working, you stick the finger in the light socket, you've gone too far, you're going to lose that one, okay? But if you stay with the aspect that we're doing what I can, done what we can, and we've used the Narcan, and we've got the paramedics coming, and we're sitting here watching them. The other thing, after you administer them, and if they start to move, they start to respond, if you can get them over on their side so that they are not throwing up, because they can, and it's quite common for them to vomit when they come back out of it. So that way they won't have a tendency to drown on their own vomit, to be very honest with you, okay? So, outside of that, don't think there's anything else here to really worry about. Do you have any questions?
Just for the new people, just so that they don't think that this is something you do every single day or once a week. How often has this happened
At the shelter?
at the shelter?
We have never, to my knowledge, we have never had to administer at the shelter, okay? Molly, we had one lady pass away at the shelter, but Molly, she passed away in her sleep. Molly tried to pick her up and do CPR with her. It was not a drug-related problem at all, okay? So, and if you look at it and say, I don't know, is it drug-related, or they had a stroke, or they're having a heart attack, this is not gonna hurt them, even if you're wrong, and they're not on an OD, okay? You can go ahead and administer this. You know, you're going to start thinking about the other things. Am I going to do a CPR, or what are we doing here? You know, so, but start looking immediately, because when they go into an OD, they're losing their oxygen, they're losing consciousness, etc. And you look at the fingertips, first of all. They'll tell you that they're starting to turn ashen or blue. Lips will do the same thing. If you really know what you're doing, open their eyes and take a look at it. Their pupils don't respond, you got another problem, okay? So, and if there's no breath and there's no heartbeat at all, administer anyway, because you may find that they've been down in such a short time that they can bring them back, okay? Narcan is an opioid reversal. It will reverse that product and only opioids. Not going to hurt them in any other way. So, anything else?
Can you just touch on the other drugs, just the effect on the other drugs if they were using meth or alcohol?
You touch on it which way?
Just let people know, like there's no effect on those drugs.
Oh yeah, no, if it's not an opioid, it's not going to do anything. Okay. So don't worry about it. It's not something that's going to be endangered. So if they're down and you administer it to them and they don't respond, they just don't respond. You're not hurting them in any fashion, okay? It's like shooting water up their nose. That's what we've been told, so, okay? Anything else? My hearing aid doesn't work that well.
I've observed when people come out of it, when you administer Narcan and they come out of their high, is they're pretty upset. They're pretty mad, and they come out swinging sometimes. So just
They can. Yeah, the question is, do they come out swinging and come out upset?
Just make sure you give yourself some space when you
Yep,
administer this.
because they will come out angry, they will come out in pain, okay? And it is extreme pain, so,
Upset their high, so they're pretty upset when they come out of it a lot of times.
yep.
Just something to be aware of.
And they're gonna wanna know, what did you do to me, okay? And you can tell them, hey, you OD'd, we used Narcan, and it's, you know, and it's only got, you wanna get them going, because it's not a cure-all. He's not ready to go home now. He's gotta get to the hospital because he can relapse again, okay? Anything else? Well, I thank you. We pray. Do not want to use it, don't have to use it. But the other thing is I want to stress to you, we have it here. Take it with you and keep it with you. Don't set it in the glove compartment of your car. The heat will break it down, okay? But keep it with you, and if anybody at the shelter asks for it, give it to them, just let us know that you've done so that we can replace our supply. We do have guys on the street that are using to carry Narcan with them also, okay? So keep that in mind. Do not deny them. If they want the Narcan, give it to them. We've got plenty of it given to us, partnership, Carson City. She has a whole storage full, okay? So, and we want to thank them for that. They donated it to us, so, okay?
Got a question. Does it have a shelf life?
It has a shelf life, the expiration date on it. It is guaranteed to be good for a year after the expiration date, okay? Even at that point, you use it anyway. You may, at that point, need to give 2, 3, 4 doses. There's only 1 dose per squirt per container, okay? Why they have an expiration date and say it's guaranteed for a year beyond, why not just say it expires and such that? I don't know, but that's what they tell us, okay? So, any others? Thank you. We've got it up here, have at it.
Okay.
Yep.
No, if this works, it's fine. Oh, it's on now. Okay. Hi, everybody. And I apologize for the cough drop. I couldn't stop coughing earlier. So my name is Molly. I'm a volunteer with NOTS. I'm also a licensed social worker and a clinical social work intern. And I'm going to be doing de-escalation training, and then afterwards I'm going to be doing a suicide prevention training very briefly. If you'd like to remove yourself for that portion of the training, I completely understand. And I'll give you a warning before I start that. So, how many new volunteers do we have here today? Wow, thank you so much, and thank you for